Hey special family, welcome back to another Am I the A video Reddit edition. Today's title is Am I the A? I offended my sister while explaining why I didn't want children. Let's read. I, 28 female, have 4 siblings, one of them being disabled. The other 3 have kids. This post is about a 35 female and B, 32 female. A have kids, 17 female, 15 male, 14 male, 9 female. The younger 3 have severe physical and mental disabilities. B have 3, 12 male, 7 male, 2 female. The oldest and middle have the same disability as my older sister's children, and the younger have Down syndrome. They are both stay-at-home moms. All the children are in the disability programs my country offers, but there is not much money left after all the medical bills of therapy and meds they need. Their husbands have okay jobs, but with the severity of the children's disability, it is hard to go by. On the other hand, I am single, child-free by choice, went to university, totally debt-free, have a master's, and work from home in my dream field. Last month, I bought my first house. I invited my family and friends for a housewarming this Saturday. I paid for 2 caretakers to care for their children so they could come. Everything was fine and fun until the end of the night. My friend had already gone home and it was the 3 of us. They started to talk about me settling down, marrying, and having kids since I bought a house. I remember that I didn't want kids. This talk circulated several times until they asked me why for the 10th time. I told them, besides really not wanting to have a child, I love my freedom, I love the life that I already have. Thinking about our family DNA, that is a high chance of having a disabled child. That means more work and sacrificing. I don't want to sacrifice myself. I want to have money for hobbies to take care of myself, for expensive clothes and hairdressers, to travel, to live, and not just survive. I love them, they're great moms, but I don't want to make the sacrifices to be the same. I would be an awful and spiteful mom, and no one deserves that. From everything I said, the only thing they listened to was about me not wanting a disabled child. They went on a spiral about how much of a blessing their kids are. How am I a egotistical bee? And so much more. They block me on social media and aren't answering me in the family group chat. My mom called to give me a speech about how my disabled brother, 36 male, was a blessing in her life, how he is a gift from God, and uninvited me from Christmas because my sisters won't come if I come. I called my brother 39. His 2 children are adopted. He admitted a long time ago this was due to high chance of disability in our family. He told me my delivery is rude, but they also suck. They should know not everyone wants kids. He encouraged me to apologize because I know how they are. I would not apologize for what I stand for. That is your stance, that is your belief, and that is your point. I don't know how you could have said it better. You spoke your truth. You set your boundaries. This is what you believe. You're speaking from experience, what you have seen, and you're not willing to make that sacrifice or take that chance. I don't see anything wrong with that, but that's just my 2 cents. Let's go to the commenters. First comment comes from Will Artist. You're not the A. I'm disabled myself. Honestly, it sounds more like your sisters want you to make the same decisions in order to validate their decisions, which is a very human thing, but not really fair to you. I like this. You aren't them. They might love having kids and want more, and that is valid regardless of what anyone else does or does not want. Also, they are possibly taking out their own struggles with resenting the difficulties on you. No matter how much of a blessing children are, even people who wanted them and who had able-bodied kids have moments when they just plain regret having them. It would be much healthier if people admitted and processed this. Not wanting kids is a valid choice. Not wanting them because there is a high risk of disability, which means inevitable struggles, plus could be incredibly unfair to the child, is also valid. A lot of people fuss about how not wanting a disabled child is ableist without addressing that the chief reason is we live in an ableist society that begrudges even basic rights for disabled children and adults. I'm loving you, Will Artist. Your sisters need to process their own internal worlds and reconcile the fact that not everyone wants what they want. Their decisions are valid regardless of other people. That's okay to not always be happy about the outcomes of decisions we made. that they can love their kids and still be mad that it's such a struggle and so difficult sometimes. You have said nothing wrong, Will Artist. That's an amazing comment. Narya Genesis says, not the A. Honestly, I work with special needs kids for over a decade, and there's a massive difference between a child born with a disability as a surprise and deciding to bring a child that you know will suffer into the world if there's family history. Not all disability is the same. Not all of them can have a quality of life. Some absolutely suffer until they pass, and knowingly doing that to your child is for your own desires, is selfish as F. You have the awareness to know you're not cut out for it. Good for you, because not everyone is. They willingly decided to live that life, and you willingly decided against it. That's your right, not the A. One Low says, there is an incredibly sad am I the A from a woman who found out she has Huntington's. Her parents never told her and her siblings that they were carriers. They told them relatives who died from it died from something else. The woman also has a child. She is terrified he will have it. Her parents did not even tell her when she was pregnant. They took all of her choices away. She is already feeling the effects of it and knows she will have a painful death. Her parents still refuse to accept responsibility for their choices and how it affected their children. The OP said she wishes she had not been born and more than anything wish she did not have children knowing they can get it too. You see, that's another way this can affect you. You're not the A, and especially not the A for recognizing that the probability of you having a disabled kid is high and that you're not the person to that. People fail to realize that you sacrifice a lot already having children, and while some people are okay with that, some aren't. You aren't wrong at all. Most people have kids without even considering their genetic markers, which I think is really cruel. Also, if they're upset, then that's their problem. You might have delivered wrong, but it sounds like they heard that they wanted to. I personally wouldn't apologize, right? Sharonin says, not the A. Agreed. Not wanting kids because of disability or illness in the family is completely valid and kind. In my opinion. I'm also child free by choice, partly because I'd be a terrible mom, lol, and partly because we have a bunch of genetic illnesses from both sides of my family. And I don't want to give a kid the risk of getting all that. It's bad enough that I'm at risk of several things. Blue Venom the Street says, not the A. I have a disabled child who is medically complex and another child with autoimmune disease and neurodivergence. I love my children deeply and I don't regret them. That being said, life is really freaking hard. Money is tight and my own health issues take a backseat to their care. It's a huge strain on my marriage and thankfully I married a good man because most would have already run from a dumpster fire. You have a much higher chance of having a disabled child due to family history. The fact that you know you don't want that life doesn't mean you hate disabled people. That's ridiculous. There's absolutely nothing wrong with your choice or what you said. They are upset most likely because of their own guilt and possibly resentment of their situation. Has your family done any genetic testing? I don't think so. Leonard Skellington says, not the A. I'm lucky enough to have 3 healthy children. I have a niece with developmental disabilities and a nephew with Down syndrome. I love them both dearly, but as a parent, I know I would not have the initiate patience necessary to be a good mother to a child like that. It's a skill I would have had to learn, and there's something wrong with using a child in that manner to learn a skill I know I don't possess. Deciding not to take the risk is smart, especially if you know you'd be spiteful due to the potential circumstances. Knowing your limitations do not make you a bad person. You are not the A. Let me know in the comment section what you think about this video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Bye!